Wow. So, Lord your God is a deadbeat dad now. That's crazy. So he's actually been popping it with the motherfucking females, huh? That's crazy, bro. Bro, I'm not that old, bro.
So yes, I believe in ABs. Baby. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of us in our life with intentions of having a child?
Yeah, apparently he has a kid and a deadbeat. Same world we
Yeah,
live
I've
in.
never like, damn, I want to create a baby with this bitch. Oh, with some music in the background. Like, I'm not trying to smash to get you pregnant. So yes, I believe in ABs. I also think that there should be a new law that says, let's just say if we smash and you get pregnant, there should be a new law that says if we don't collectively agree that we both want this child, then I should sign over my rights and legally you can't do
Yeah.
anything. Like, that's how I feel like it should be. Like, I think it's lame as that you could smash a bitch for fun, right? And she says, I'm pregnant. You're like, all right, well, what do we like? I'm not ready to be a father. And she's like, well, I'm ready to be a mother. Child support coming. Like, how the fuck does that make sense? Like, I literally smashed you for sex. Now I gotta suffer
Kodorka?
because I want because we just
Kodorka?
bang for
I don't know if you
recreational
call you
purposes.
Dorka.
That shit is
Thanks for the
ass
follow.
backwards. That shit is so ass backwards to me. That's why I said the only way I would give my pops a pass if I knew him and my mom's was smashing and I just like came out of a oops baby type shit and they weren't married
Been
in a
too long
relationship,
since I
I
watched
give
him.
him a pass for
Yeah.
sure. For sure, I give him a pass because I know you was just fucking like, like just the
I
same
mean,
way
I
the
haven't
same
paid
way I'm
attention to
having
the
sex for
Lord your God
recreational
since like
purposes.
what, months ago.
So I get it that you had
So
sex for
this is
recreational
like
purposes and I was a byproduct.
crazy to me.
I think that that's just like ass backwards. Like I'm not fucking nobody. Like men, most of us don't fuck to procreate. So it's like, why is it a one-sided thing?
Low tier God is a deadbeat father. Full stop. There is no subtle nuance to this
Need some
statement.
watching for
There
the
is
rage
nothing
quitting.
else to
I'm pretty sure that's
understand. I'm not
everyone
speaking
else.
in rhythm, rhyme, limerick, or anything
Oh
of the
shit,
like.
Volt?
Low
I
tier
mean,
God is a deadbeat father. Full stop. Of all of the controversies that have surrounded low tier God's online presence for over a decade now,
is this
I
from Shang
personally
Tsung?
believe that this is quite
Volt
honestly
rep.
the
Yeah, it's from Shang
worst,
Tsung.
not only because of the nature of what this
Jade,
around, but more
really?
because of the real life
Dead ass dude? Come on
ramifications
now.
of low tier God being a deadbeat father. Everything he said to Viscant, everything he said to Brodyleg, everything he said to Perfect Legend, everything he said to every member of the FGC or the greater
How's
stream
how's
community
the audio, by the
pales in
way?
comparison to the fact that Dale Wilson has a child out in the world that he has willfully abandoned. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look at how we got here.
Most of us know that for years now, Dale has openly talked about his immense disgust at the mere thought of having daughters, and many great videos have compiled his thoughts on the matter, which you should definitely watch if you haven't seen them, because they add a whole other layer to what you're about to see. But just in case you haven't, here is but one quick example.
Here's what's gonna happen. Me and my daughter, we gonna be straight. As soon as I find out she lose the V, I don't got nothing else to say to you. Honestly though, let me ask you niggas a question. Honestly, what more would I do? What more would I need to say to my daughter if she starts sucking on and fucking, like, what kind of relationship we gonna have? You already went out there and explored men. What else do we need to speak on?
That doesn't make any fucking what? He wants his daughter to be gay?
She like girls and shit, we could vibe. But for me,
That's questionable.
to just continuously have a continuous relationship with my daughter when she's already sucking on other men's cocks and getting backshotted. Like, we don't have nothing else to talk about. The relationship at that point is weird from that point on. Like, you're no longer a little girl to me. You're a woman out there getting banged, backshotted, sucking, and taking nuts, busting on nuts, squirting all over dicks. Like, just the thought of, like, I couldn't rock with my daughter no more just off the thought and the strength of her just fornicating it in itself. Like, I don't want to be like let's just have a daughter and she comes over and she had a kid. Like, I gotta look at a pregnant daughter. I don't see how that.
Hold on. Let me just move my face cam down. Sorry about that. I couldn't really see the text. But like, bro.
Let's process that shit. I really don't. Cause me, like, I could be a 60-year-old man, right? And have like a 30-year-old daughter. And she comes over pregnant or with her kids. I'm gonna feel weird because somebody laid you down and f***ed you when you were my daughter at a point in time and I gotta sit over and play grandpa. Like, nah, I'm cool.
And keep in mind, there's at least 20 other clips just like this one that are just as bad, if not worse. If you have seen the leaked LTG credit report, you may have noticed a few key tidbits of information. The first thing was the Department of Child Support collection, obviously, which is dated August 2023 on the report. Then if you browse to the part that appears to be all the inquiries, or pulls as they're known in the business, most are the typical things you would see on any credit report. Credit cards, auto dealers, banks. But there is one unique thing, a name. And the date for this inquiry is coincidentally also in August 2023. Now if you Google this name, you will find a law firm located in Southern California, about an hour's drive from where LTG lives. If you go to the firm's website, it states they specialize in two main areas of law: estate planning and judgment enforcement. Estate planning is basically wills, living trusts, things like that. Basically grown-up shit that LTG would never even think to do. Judgment enforcement is when you take someone to court and you win a judgment against them, but the other party doesn't pay. So you hire a law firm to get involved, and they can do things like garnish the other person's bank account or income, put a lien on their assets, or other extreme measures. And basically, the point is that they are forced to pay you, one way or the other. So you might see a loose story starting to come together here. Just based off this information alone, it would appear that in August 2023, his child support obligations went into collections, and also in August 2023, a law firm intervened in the matter to try enforcing a judgment against him. So as I was putting this all together, I had the thought, these things all seem to be happening around August of 2023, so what was Dale doing around that time on stream? What kind of things was he talking about? What was his general mood like? Was there any random things he just started talking about without any seeming explanation for it? Many of us know that Dale has a terrible poker face, and when something is bothering him, it will be written all over his face. Not only that, but he has to talk about it. So I set out to find if there were any topics or things he was venting about on stream around that time, or similarly, if there is anything he has been focused on since. The first clip I found was what you just saw at the beginning of this video. Coincidentally, the date of this clip is August 21st, just 2 days before the credit inquiry from the law firm hits his credit report. Just a short, random rant about how unfair it is that you could get a girl pregnant and then be forced into paying child support, even if you don't want to keep the child.
That's fishy. That's fishy.
This topic was brought up suddenly and out of nowhere, and he finished the rant as abruptly as he brought it up, so I sensed there must be something to this, and kept searching. As you may have already guessed, this would end up being just the tip of the iceberg.
Our Anthony Edwards is going viral for allegedly paying a woman 100 bands to get an abortion. Man, you can't force a kid on the world. I have an appointment on the 27th. Hell no, I can't do this. So what now? What a great response. Get an abortion. Honestly, I've had an abortion with my son around 2 years ago, and I regret it every day. Man, you can't force a kid in the world? And you know I'm gonna get my insights after this shit. Being cool to you is just gonna get an abortion by myself, and you're not gonna do shit about it, just going on about your day. That's being cool to you. Obviously, you've been through this before, just by your reaction. I'll send you the money to help you out. I didn't ask for it, but okay. Like, why would I refuse bands? So you just don't want a baby? Is that why you're saying this? Because I've been cool with you. I don't want kids. Let's handle this like grown-ups. Okay. I'm not trying to force you to be a dad to a baby you don't want. I just don't like abortions. That's, like, that doesn't get me wrong. Like, if you really don't want to do this, it's just fine. I won't. In other words, like, damn, I just wanted to have a bag for 18 years, but I like the fact that, and look, there's another one where she was like hounding him for the money and he had his attorney send her 100 bands. Here's my thing about this situation. I don't like the fact that you're using my bust. So I should have 50% of the say if you bring a kid in the world I clearly don't want. Why would you have a spiteful baby that I'm never gonna f with on that kind of level? Like, this is a thing too. This is why I would let my dad, I would easily let my dad pass if he didn't marry my mom, I would have let him slide. That's where you f***ed up, nigga. If you was just I'd be like, okay, cool. Like you was just getting pussy, and then you happen to concede, like you happen to slip some in, and boom, I'm here. But I don't like the fact that most of us men, 99.9% of the time, we're fucking for pleasure. Stories like this, if you knew I was fucking you for pleasure, why would you forcefully try to have a kid? And a lot of these chicks, they will probably, we've seen so many stories where they forcefully have a kid.
Anyone
I don't
still
want
here?
the kid. I don't want nothing to do with you. So why would I want to forcefully take care of a kid I don't want with a bitch I was just banging for sex? If I don't like you and it was just some sex session, what makes you think I wanted to procreate with your ass in the first place? It's just crazy how like I see so many of these things where it's just men, we don't have the choice.
Right.
So you're using my cum, you're using my sperm to fertilize your egg, but I don't have none of the choice on what you do with the kid, and I gotta pay. This man didn't want a kid with this chick so bad he gave her $100,000. That should be a wake-up call. That it should be a 50-50%. It should be a 50.
Bro, like, you niggas ever heard of fucking condom? Like, if you don't want a kid with a motherfucker, if you don't want a kid with a chick, just wear a fucking condom. Like, why is it so hard for these NBA niggas to just wear a fucking condom? Oh yeah, I'm like raw is much better. Like, no, nigga, like, bro, like, first of all, y'all niggas pull-out game is so fucking weak. Stupid ass nigga. And it's just like, bro, just wear a fucking condom. Wear a fucking condom. Holy shit. Is it really that damn hard?
50-50 decision.
It's like
this
$10.
is how shit should work. When two people fuck, which we're doing for pleasure in the first place, and if a chick happens to get pregnant, because a lot of these chicks will be like, please bust in me, please. It just feels better. I like how warm it is inside of my pussy. The way I think it should work, I think it should work like this. The law should be, we're clearly fucking for recreational purposes. You want to bust, I want to bust. I didn't want a kid with you in the first place. Most of us don't fuck for kids. So guys, if there's anybody out here that's mad at your dad, he never married your mom, he was fucking for sex. So you really don't have the right to be mad at your dad if he never married your fucking mom in the first place, because your mom probably had the kid, your mom probably had you without his motherfucking permission. So honestly, you shouldn't even be mad at the nigga. No, you're dumb because you're a non-sub. You're banned, bruh.
Someone called him retarded. Bro, you dead ass retarded. I don't know if y'all can see it. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can see it. But nigga just dead ass called him retarded. Like right down here, like right in the midst of all things, but he just called him retarded.
No, you're dumb because you're a non-sub. You're banned, bruh. Were you mad because you never met your pops? Look, anyways, I almost called this nigga something back. I just had to keep my cool since I'm the lit nigga. You're banned. Anyways, all my guys in here, if your dad never married your mom and he was never around, you can't even get mad at the nigga. Because clearly he didn't want to, clearly he was fucking for sex. So why you got this aggression?
Jay, what the fuck was that on Discord?
If your dad didn't marry your fucking mom, you don't have a right to be mad at him because he probably didn't want your ass in the first place. He was fucking for sex, backshotting, creamy backshotting your mom and all that type of shit. She happened to say, fuck it, I'm gonna keep the kid anyway, you're here. You're a product of sex. Most of us are just a product of accidental bust-ins. If we didn't marry you, we didn't want the motherfucking kid. Most of these dudes be beefing with these, like, what's Von Miller? You guys ever hear about the story with Von Miller? Yeah, but anyways, back to what I was saying. The point I'm trying to make is this. I think that a female keeping a kid should not be 100% sole her decision, because it was my sperm that helped you incubate this kid. So if we can't come collectively and make a decision together, if you're like, I don't want the kid, she's like, well, I want it. I think that the case should be brought in front of a judge, and you guys should both be able to explain your case on why you think it's not really a good idea to bring a kid in the world for multiple years that's going to cost money, that's going to ruin both of your lives. Now you guys are going to hate each other. Because if a chick, put it like this, let's just say this metaphorically speaking. If I was just fucking some chick, right? And a little bit of my matrix juice slipped in. I know I pulled out, but a little bit of my matrix juice slipped in. I had no intentions of fucking with this chick in the long haul. It was just for some head and sex. And you happen to get pregnant. And you tell me you're going to keep the kid. What do you think is going to happen?
Wear a fucking condom.
What do you think is going to happen? You think I'm going to be overjoyed if you're pregnant? I'm going to be like, okay, let's get the AB. No, I'm going to keep it. Okay, so she decides to keep it. We arguing this and that. She decides to keep it. Do you honestly think I'm ever going to fuck with that kid, authentically love it, or be in its life at all? No, I'm going to just pay my dues and go on about my life. You can slide me on that that CS. You can slide me on that CS. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Wait, what?
You can slide me on that CP.
I know it's a slip up. But
I mean, that CS, you can slide me on that CS. I don't want nothing to do with that child because you had the kid against my will. So why the fuck would I have unconditional love for something that I didn't want? I said CP like child support. Get it? Y'all niggas over. Every time I make a mistake, y'all niggas say some dumb shit any fucking ways. I put the wrong abbreviation, excuse me. Back to the point that I was making. If I don't like you and I was fucking and I didn't want to agree to have a kid with you, why would you forcefully have a kid anyway?
Child protective
Why is it your decision to keep something that I'm half of that I helped create? That's my issue. I think it's ass backwards for men. Like clearly I'm for fun. Yeah, this is the Anthony Edwards shit. Clearly I for fun. I was backshotting you. I was getting sucked up. I didn't want no fucking kid by you. If the kid ends up being LeBron James, I don't give a fuck. Maybe wear a condom. What if it rips and then I'm stroking? I look down, the shit's popped. Now you got nut in you. Now you're keeping it.
Sounds like a you problem, nigga. Should have wear the shit better. Should have wear a condom better, dumbass.
They usually don't rip.
Because
shit.
like, yo, I remember I was fucking this girl, right? Like about 2 weeks ago. Wear a condom, all this other stuff. You gotta wear the condom good, bro. You gotta wear it to the point where it doesn't really like explode and shit, ripped, all this other stuff. That just sounds like a you problem, my nigga. I didn't have that problem when I fucked a girl, bro. It's like that ass, bro.
If you ain't got a BBC, I guess you wouldn't know. BBCs, we usually can rip condoms. Why would I get a vasectomy? My sperm is for kids that I actually would want, not for kids that I'm fucking a bitch for procreational purposes, for sex.
You don't have that.
And then she was to keep my seed. I don't want nothing to do with the kid. Honestly, that's my shit. I'll pay what I need to pay.
Yeah.
If I was in these niggas' position to chick forcefully at the kid, I'll pay what I need to pay, but I want no ties to the child. That's not my kid. It was against my will. I want no parts. So I don't blame Anthony Anderson for this shit. Honestly, what's his name again? Anthony what? Edwards. My bad. I don't blame Anthony Edwards for this shit. I don't think there's nothing wrong with what he said. I think he was a little bit blunt when he said get an abortion. He could have abbreviated and said, could you just at least get an AB? I'm not a pastor, nigga. You're banned. Pastor this banned, bitch. I would have just said,
what?
I'm not a
Priest, pastor.
pastor, nigga. You're banned. Pastor this banned, bitch. I would have just said it something slick. I would have went, can you get an AB? With an LOL. She don't, what's an AB? I'd have like, I mean, come on, man. You know we was just fucking for recreational purposes. Let's just do what's right. I'm not in love with you. You're not in love with me. We're not in a relationship. We were clearly just fucking. Why would we bring a child into this environment? That sounds like a logical way to do it. And just like you said, man, you can't force a kid in this world, which is true. But chicks like to do that. You can't force a kid in this world. Anyways, this situation, like I said, a lot of people will be sensitive about it, but I do think that conceiving a kid should be a 50-50 party. If the two parties cannot come together with a logical decision, it should go in front of a judge, and both people should explain why they want to keep it or why this won't work. You're broke as why are we having this kid? Imagine it's two broke people that fucked. The guy was just having sex. She magically gets pregnant. He clearly didn't bust in he like a little bit of nut slipped in, some pre-cum or something like that. Why would you bring a kid into the world when you're both broke? You're gonna make the shit harder on the kid growing up. He can't get toys. She can't get toys. Going to a whack-ass urban ghetto school.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he was actually giving an example, not talking about the NBA player. But
getting broke bullshit education, growing up in a fucking urban up ass area. I don't understand why parents do that. Good games, broski. Thank you for the 5 months. Your kid got to grow up in a motherfucking apartment. You don't got the time to spend with your kid because you got to work two jobs to survive. I don't understand why people bring kids into the world forcefully.
What's good,
Most
Sam?
of the men that have kids don't want them. We were fucking for recreational purposes. Anthony was fucking for recreational purposes. Luckily, he found a chick that has some sense in her to not fuck over her life and his life.
Why are you not calling him Sam?
For having a kid that has no love involved. There's no love while we made that kid. There's no love. I just don't understand. I don't understand the laws with that shit. Like I said, if my dad never married my motherfucking mom, I could give two flying. I have no animosity now, but I would give him a pass. Honestly, you would get a cold pass for me. If he never married my mom, you get a pass for fucking, and I'm just here. Because clearly that was the situation, but he married my mom. So clearly the nigga wasn't ready for a kid when he had me. But he fucked up when he married her. You know what I mean? Maybe people should stop fucking recreationally. That's one thing too. That's another thing, guys. Don't just smash anything. Why does marrying it ruin it? He didn't plan either way. Because, I mean, you already locked ties. You was in a locked relationship contract, so that's different. But any guy in here that's mad at your dad and he didn't marry your mom, technically you ain't got a reason to be mad at him because clearly the nigga wasn't trying to have you in the first place. It was just sex. Your mom got pregnant. You're here. Why you got animosity for? Did I ever get a girl pregnant? There was one ex-girlfriend I got pregnant like hella years ago. It was, oh my God, I dodged a bullet with this ball raw get.
I think Mo would think that this story is cap. But nah, it's true. It's true. There's this guy called Freshly Canal, but animated and fictional character. Sick.
I was in a relationship with this chick.
What? We are going to hear the story again later. The short version is that he got a girl pregnant and she had a miscarriage, so he said he dodged the bullet. But he said some other interesting things too. All right.
Bro, this chick was so fucking violent. She was like 6'1", 6'2". Bro, when I tell you, like, everything about that relationship, I felt obligated. And I didn't even have shit at that time. I was like 20. Nah, bro, this was so long ago, man. This was like hella Christmases ago and shit. This might have been like Christmas 2018 type shit. But yeah, I dodged a bullet. So that's why I'm real sensitive on these type of topics where chicks try to keep kids that niggas don't want. Because I almost had a kid I didn't want with a ball raw get.
And he's most likely a domestic abuser. He's most likely a domestic abuser too. Crazy.
Bro, child support ain't nothing for these niggas. The only thing that would suck if I was a rich man and a bitch was getting child support off me, I would just be pissed the fact that this bitch is just eating off a life that I worked for. Or it doesn't even matter if I was rich. I'd be mad that any bitch that could get child support off of a nigga that just from having a kid, you're just eating off a life I worked for. You don't deserve that shit. Go get a fucking career, bitch. Nah, not 21, 18. You say you think what went up? What you talking about? Oh, it went up to 21? Ain't no way. Why the fuck would you need to pay for a kid for 21 years? Fuck you. You was a product of sex anyway, 9 times out of 10. That's crazy how like society really got kids as a transaction. Like, it's supposed to be a joyful thing. You telling me I gotta pay for something that was a product of casual sex? Why is a child a transaction? Especially, like I said, if a nigga doesn't agree to have a kid, you shouldn't be obligated to pay child support. The fucking goddamn the government should pay for that shit. That shit is 21 now? That's crazy, bro. You gotta pay for a kid for an extra 4 years over something 9 times out of 10 you didn't agree to have. That's crazy. You gotta pay out an obligation for a bastard child. Crazy. Yeah, there's no way I could fuck with a kid I didn't agree to have. There's no way I could fuck with it. If I gotta pay for something that was had against my will, I ain't fucking with you. I'll just pay for it and fuck you. But as far as like a relationship or any of that type of shit, don't ever try to visit me. Oh, you know that you were my dad, like why weren't you there? I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I paid for you for all these years, so why the hell would I fuck with a kid I gotta pay for? Get the fuck out of my face. Are you serious, dad? Or dad, are you serious? What the fuck you talking about? I didn't agree to have your motherfucking ass. Nigga, your mom got a bag off you for fucking 18 years. Did you think the shit was gonna be kumbaya? Like, nigga, get the fuck off my doorstep. I did not agree that you were a product of casual sex, my nigga. And I would have had the tool tucked just in case. Is there an issue? Wait, hold on, you're pulling a gun on me? Absolutely, bro. Get the fuck off my doorstep. I did not agree to have you. If it's a girl, I'm like, did I stutter? Get off the doorstep. You are not one of my authentic children. Get out of here. Your dad, my dad has been paid. Locked. The fuck out of here, bro. The obligation shit is lame. Like, if I paid already, well, I don't want to fuck with you. That's just my thing. If I paid, bro, if a chick randomly had a kid by me and I paid for all these years, there's no way we can have a relationship. Not a 1% chance. Cause I didn't agree to have you. So why in the fuck would I need to fuck with you? I paid. My debt is paid. My society to debt has been paid. I'll have authentic kids with a bitch I actually gave a fuck about and focus on those. But with a random ass child that I didn't agree to have and I paid for, that's been paid. Holler. That's what I'm saying. If she wanted you to be an active father, she wouldn't have filed for child support in the first place. Because let's be real here. Most of these chicks that file on these niggas that I feel sorry for, Most of these chicks
Nigga,
that file,
this shit is
the
crazy,
nigga actually will
bro.
probably be like, yo, if you just don't file the paperwork, I'll actually work with you. I'll help you out. Some of these chicks be so devious from the stories that I've heard from niggas. Some of these chicks be so devious, they file anyway and want you to be a father at the same time. Like, what you mean? I gave you a bag. That's my, like, how, so hold on. So you want me to pick the nigga up or pick the chick up from basketball practice and pay you?
Bro, my nigga, I remember from that roast video that Slayer made. LTG was saying something on the lines of everything that I told, every story, every shit that I told, from like it was dead ass happening to me. Like all this type of stories and shit that he's been telling people. I mean, there's a hefty level of lies that he's been telling, but when it comes to like the truth, my nigga, when it comes to like the truth, he said that, oh, all this shit that I've been telling is that has been happening to me. I remember him saying that shit in that Slayer video. This could be one of them. This shit could be one of them. Crazy, man.
Nope. You should have thought about that. You chose option B. I told you option A. Your mom did that shit to your pops? That's what I'm talking about, bro. Yo, you're Jacob. Shut up for the 6 months.
Dance cloak time.
Nigga, if I'm paying, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'll pay my debt, but I ain't f***ing with you at all. That's not a rogue mentality. So you're telling me that you would pay for a kid out of obligation and f*** with it against your will? Tell me in what realm does that sound ethical? Splurge 909, shout out for the 12 months. What realm does that sound logical and fair to you as a man? It's not about it being the kid's fault. So you're telling me if a chick had a kid against your will when you weren't ready and slid you on child support, you're gonna pay out of obligation and rock with the kid out of obligation when you never even liked the bitch for real. That's crazy. I wouldn't do that. I'm straight, bro. I'll pay, but I ain't fucking with you. If I didn't agree to have the kid, there's no love connection, there's no bond, so I can't fuck with you. Bro, put on a condom. It's not even about that. What if the shit busted and you accidentally popped the condom and the nut slid in? Let's not act like accidents don't happen before. Some chicks probably don't even want to pop a plan B. I just think that it's foul, like, that some dudes out there just really will smash chicks for fun and just be locked in. Like, you knew good and well I wasn't trying to procreate with your fucking ass. It was only a back shot session. Matter of fact, you hit me up for cock. We were stroking, the Magnum XL or the Magnum busted or the Durex or whatever you motherfuckers rock. You got pregnant. You told me that you were pregnant. You found out. I said, well, let's go ahead and, we're clearly not in love. We're not in a relationship. Let's do the ethical thing. You said no. I said, all right, cool, whatever. This is your body. You know what? And I'm putting you on child support. Wait, what do you mean? Like, well, there's ways we could work this out. Nope. Child support and you're going to have to visit. Yeah, you got me f***ed up. Nah. I don't think that's fair to the man. What part of that sounds fair to a man? I have one pregnancy scare story. And oh man, that shit would have ruined my fucking life. Oh man, I was with this ball get bitch. Oh my God. It was like it was the last relationship I was in with a black chick. Man, my life would have been, I would have been screwed. I would not have been low tier God. Everything happens for a reason. I would have been some depressed father with a chick that I hated. I would have hated life. Just thinking about it disgusts me. It just sucks that as a man in society, you don't have a say-so when you're literally just fucking somebody for casual sex. That's the only thing that sucks. Like, we don't really have a say-so for shit. There should be a rule that says if two people cannot agree let's just say this. Let's just say you fuck a chick, right? She finds out she's pregnant. She wants to keep it. You guys can't come up with an agreement on what should happen. You should be able to sign a piece of paper. She signs a piece of paper where her and the government is responsible for the kid. And then you're free to go. It's really already like that? Hell no, you're always obligated. Because you should not be, as a man, you should not be obligated to pay a chick for 18 to 21 years for a casual sex session. That shit is a fucked up ass logic. It's a fucked up scenario. It's horrible. That's what I'm saying. If they could do it without your say, yeah, you should be able to leave without the say. Because it's a one-sided decision. It's a one-sided decision. So you're gonna tell me some of my juice is slipping when you on accident. You're gonna tell me you're gonna have it and I'm gonna pay? Okay, well, what about me? What about my free will? What type of free will do men have? Like, it's unethical. And a lot of chicks be using kids as weapons. I've had plenty of homies with kids and their lives are miserable because chicks use kids as weapons. How much net does it take? Probably a microscopic amount.
So as you have seen, it is extremely heinous, his train of thought in relation to having a child. At this point, You really have to be more introspective about this. These aren't speculative rants.
Fucking crazy,
If you
bro.
are a fan of Dale and you watch him go on these rants on stream, these racist rants, homophobic, transphobic, these hateful rants over and over and over again, and you think to yourself, it's all a character. He's doing this for a laugh. He doesn't mean any of this. You have to think, because everything he said about not wanting a child, and more specifically a daughter, is all part of the life that he has been living. Dale wears his heart on his sleeve. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anytime he is upset about something, he will speak about it at length. If he doesn't get invited to an FGC event, he speaks about it because it bothers him. If he isn't nominated for an award he feels like he should be, he speaks about it because it bothers him. If a troll made a video about a topic that specifically drew more ire, he speaks about it because it bothers him. There is no nuance with Dale. When he is speaking about something, it is bothering him.
Note from Shang Tsung. Unironically, Dale himself seems to understand this logic, even though he can't help but fall victim to it. I recently saw this tweet where he mentions it to someone only to have him play the Uno reverse card and point out that he just did the same thing a few days ago. As you probably guessed, they'll delete the tweet. Yep, classic low tier god, bro. A known food reviewer upset because an actual celebrity didn't know who he was. Cry me a river. You didn't watch the video. His second sentence was, "I am not upset." He would have made the video if he wasn't now, would he? Fuck up. Dumb fuck. He made a video to address sped niggas like you who said he is upset, but I see comprehension isn't comprehension isn't one of your strong points, Mr. Low Tier God. Also, did you sit on stream and bitch because RDT didn't invite you to the Cooked! Cooked! Damn.
And typically, it is because there is a validity to whatever he is speaking about. If trolls discovered some new information about him, or found some flaws in his logic, or are just having a laugh, he's going to speak about it because it bothers him. Remember when I first made my troll videos calling Dale a simp? He went on an hour-long rant about it. A person who is truly unbothered does not do that. They simply ignore it. He isn't lying. Dale isn't playing a character. He's honest about his hatred, not for a hypothetical daughter, a real life child. And we all might have thought that this could have been a recent event. No, this child is 10 years of age. This child has the cognitive intelligence to be able to understand the nature of her father's rants.
10 years ago. 2024. 2014. He's 39, he was 29. Then there's Elena. When he was 28, she was 17. She's 18 in the year of 2024. Dale was 28. Wait, no, 29. So there's two things that can happen with this. There's like two things that I'm thinking about. One, in that year, 2014, he could be cheating on Elena with another girl. Actually, no, there's three things. One, he could be cheating on with Elena with another girl. Two, Elena could be I'm not saying she is, but I'm just saying. Three, I remember, again, in that Slayer video where he roasted the shit out of Lord Tier God, there was a part of the video where Elena had her friend there in LTG's bedroom while he was playing like Street Fighter or some shit. There's a lot of speculations with this shit, man. Not even gonna lie to you. There is hella speculation with this shit. 10 years old. So I can see why Lotte God is a big Drake fan now. Well, I mean, I used to be until Kendrick Lamar pretty much exposed them, and there are literal evidence of that. Crazy.
About her existence. You saw him say if this child reached out to him in the future, he would potentially harm them for seeking a relationship with them. He would bring a weapon to the door to talk to this child.
Oh yeah, I did remember him saying that.
He is not a man, he is an insect, an insignificant peon who is repeating the sins of his father. Of course, now he wants to justify the fact that his father, James, abandoned him and his sister and his brother and his mother when they were small because he went ahead and did the exact same thing. In the past, he would rant and say that his father did not take advantage of the opportunity that he was born with all of these superior genetics and could have been something more than he is now. But he turns around and does the same thing. He's no better than the man he hates. He understands the struggle that his mother went through raising 3 children as a single mother in the 80s and 90s, and even with that knowledge, he doesn't care. He chose to abandon his child and let this little girl and her mother go through the exact same turmoil that he did. Just to look at a few of the statistics surrounding single mother households and how much they can negatively impact a child. 60% of children below the poverty line live in homes with a single mother. If you have a single mother, you are far more likely to get addicted to drugs. If you were raised by a single mother, you are far more likely to get incarcerated at some point during your lifetime, which Dale is very familiar with. The entire story is incredibly sad. This child is 10 years old now. Shortly after this child's birth, in 2014, Dale began grooming his 17-year-old girlfriend, Alana, when he was 29 years old, and also started a...
Wait. So, at the child's birth, he cheated on the baby mother with a child, which is Elena. That's even worse. Oh my God, bro. Yo, Dale is cooked. This nigga Dale is cooked, yo. Boy, ain't no fucking way.
Feud with Viscant, which led to a money match. While most people will be concerned with how they're going to alter their life to provide for the new life that they brought into this world, Dale was more concerned with how he was going to groom a minor and start random Street Fighter beefs. All in all, Dale is submitting himself to the Streisand effect now in an attempt to obscure this information by locking the replies to his Twitter and putting certain words on his block list so that people cannot comment them in his Twitch chat. He is inadvertently confirming that all of this information that leaked is accurate. An innocent person would not do this. They would laugh it off and ignore it. But he is scared. He is nervous, is terrified, because this has been his best kept secret. Of all the things that we know for a fact about Dale, this was the most unexpected.
It was very unexpected.
You guys know what I think about chicks that like to trap niggas and use niggas for a bag? I think that it's a very one-sided situation. And I think that it's very unethical that if a woman gets pregnant, you're obligated out of casual sex to provide for something you clearly will have no emotional connection with. When a kid is born out of sex, out of recreational sex, it will never be a fully loving relationship with you and that child. That's probably why, when you think about it, that's probably why if there's niggas in here that our fathers weren't there, we have to take it into accountability that clearly our fathers were just using our moms for pussy. Because let's think about it. If that wasn't the case, why the wouldn't they have been happy to be around? Because what happened was they were fucking our moms got pregnant, they didn't feel like having a kid, they were just fucking for fun, for cream, for wet, for squirt. We were a product of that. And then our moms were like, well, I'm pregnant now, you're gonna take care of it. And if you don't, I'm also putting you on child support. Matter of fact, if you do take care of it, I'm still putting you on child support because I need help. And then boom. I honestly can't expect if that's really the story of my father, I really can't blame the nigga for not being around. I'm gonna have this conversation with him too. I'm gonna ask him like, so let me ask you a question. I'm gonna give you a full-blown pass right now on any and everything. But let's be honest here. I'm a grown man, right? When you literally found out that my mom was pregnant, were you ready to be a father? If you'd be like, well, I mean, you know, clearly, you know, things happen. I wasn't ready for that in my life. And you know, no, I wasn't ready. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Everything moving forward, I give you a pass. Wait, what you mean you give me a pass? I'm saying I give you a pass because I understand that I was a product of recreational sex. Now let me see him. She moved to Vegas. She not
What?
let me see him. Like, I ain't seen my kids in like 6 years. And a lot of these chicks, they like to use kids as a weapon too. My thing is this: if you're a chick that had a kid out of wedlock with a guy off casual sex, why not instead of this being a dirty situation, why not let's work together, do this thing as an adult. Let's not involve courts. Let's not be dirty about the situation. Why weaponize the child to the point where now I'm gonna hate the kid? Because put it like this: if I'm fresh, right? As soon as you get the courts involved, I don't give a fuck about the child at all. As soon as you fucking involve the courts, I don't give two fucks about the child. It's nothing but an expense to me after that. Now, if we could find out a way to not even contractually, but if we could come out with a verbal contractual way to deal with things where we don't involve the law, cool. But if you literally involve the courts at all with the kid, I don't give two fucks about that child. Jesus. It is nothing but a bill and an expense to me.
Christ.
That's it. You keep the thing. Because if I'm paying for something, why the fuck do I need to be around?
Motherfucker say keep the thing. This motherfucker says keep the thing.
In the first place, if you put shit in document courts, oh, I'll pay, but I don't want shit to do with the fucking seed, because you chose option B instead of option A. Option A, we could have done a little co-parenting shit. You could have still got a bag off me. Shit could have been cool. I'd have been like, you know, I gotta pay for this thing, but all right, at least we ain't out in the courts with this shit. Soon as you involve the courts, that shit ain't nothing but an extra. That kid turns into a car note. That kid is a BMW, bro. As soon as you involve the courts, I'm paying that nigga. That's a whip. That's not even a child to me anymore, nigga. That's a fucking car that I drive, nigga. That's what that shit morphs into. Let's check out some of these text messages. Would I punish the kid for what my baby mama does? If I had a baby's mother to put me in the courts, the kid's no longer mine. It belongs to the state because the state's involved. So now that just becomes a bill towards me. I want no quarrels with that child. When you become grown, don't come speak to me, because if you become grown and speak to me, I will literally say you were nothing but a product of sex. I tried to talk to your mom about the court shit. She put me into the courts. When the courts were involved, when the government was involved, I'd said, you know what? I want no parts of that child. I paid a bill for you. Your child support has been paid. Have a good luck in life. Your mom chose option B instead of option A. Option A was I be involved. I still give her a bag, and I teach you family values, teach you good things on a militant standpoint. She chose option B, said, I'm gonna get the courts involved. So I said, fuck you. That's why you never see me. So don't come over here crying, talking about, I never knew my father. First off, let me get something straight. Biologically, I'm your dad. Outside of that, I'm not your father. See, a father is present through love based off of a love kid, a love child. I am not your fucking father. Biologically, I did help create you. But outside of that, I want no parts. I paid for you though. You were a bill for 18 years, so I had to pay a car note for 18 years. Outside of that, have a good motherfucking life. Whatever the fuck your mom taught you, good luck. Because what your mom did was she robbed you of learning good shit because she was nothing but a backshot queen. She robbed you of learning good shit and said, I'm gonna get the courts involved. So
backshot queen?
Why don't you go talk to the government about how you learn values and talk to your fucking dumbass mom that was a backshot queen. I wanted no parts of her. She chose option B. I said, let's get option A. She chose option B. You were nothing but a bill. Boom. Cars paid. Have a good life. What do you mean cars paid? You were nothing but a vehicle. Kid could take a lesson, get it from the mom. Once you get the courts involved, learn all that shit from your fucking mom. That's my take on it. If you want to get the court, my thing is this, guys. So let's just say you're fucking a bitch for fun. You don't really like her. You're just having casual sex, right? She gets pregnant, has the kid. You wasn't ready for it, but a woman's gonna do what she wants to do. It's a woman's body. She's gonna do what she does. She has the kid, says, I'm gonna put you on child support and I want you to take care of it. How is that ethical? You wanna get the courts involved, rob me of my bag, and you want me to visit the kid to take care of it? Nah. What fair is that to the man? How fair is that? So you want to get the courts involved where they robbing me for money? I watched this shit happen to a couple of my homies.
Hold up. Did you catch that? Let's rewind this for a second. First, watch the way he puts his hand to his own chest here, and when he says, "What about," it sounds like he was about to say, "What about me?" But he catches himself and says, What fair is that to the man?"
What fair is that to the man?
Then immediately after he says,
"So you want to get the courts involved where they robbing me for money?" I watched this shit happen to a couple of my homies.
but again he catches himself and realizes he just went too far and referred to himself in the first person. So he pulls out the old asking for a friend excuse and says, "I've watched this shit happen to a couple of my homies." Sure, Dale, your homies. I've
Is that Dr. Disrespect?
homies. Sure, Dale, your
Dr. Disrespect, Drake, Diddy, and Dale. 4 of the D's. 4 of the fucking D's. Ain't that a mother...
homies. I've chosen to conclude on this clip not just because it really hammers the point home that this isn't some story he's made up, but because of a more important reason. One that speaks to the true character of Dale Wilson. In this last clip you just saw, he's making it clear that he didn't have any issue with her having the kid against his wishes. In fact, he literally says, "It's her body, and she can do whatever she wants to." In addition to that, he states multiple times that she could have still made a bag off me, meaning he wasn't against helping support the child financially. He says he was willing to both pay for it and help raise it, so long as they have a verbal agreement that doesn't involve the court system. His only issue with this situation is that she involved the courts. This is so critically important because once I posted the preview for this video, Dale's cuck defenders and wannabe red pill followers were quick to defend him on the basis of men's rights, saying it's not fair that a woman can just decide to have the kid and then force you to pay child support. Whether you agree that's unfair or not is irrelevant, because that's not actually what he's complaining about. I know it may be confusing because at times he resorts to just complaining about the money, and this may just be a case of him lying and saying it's about something else because it looks better than saying it's just about money. But let's take him at his word, because he has said multiple times he didn't have any issue with supporting the child financially. Not only that, but you just heard him say she wanted his help raising the child. So all you MRAs thinking she was trying to keep the child away from him, you can just toss that out the window right now. According to him, the reason why he didn't want anything to do with the kid is because she took him to court. At this point, you may be wondering, why would she need to do that if he was willing to pay? Well, like I said, this could all just be a lie, but the answer may lie in the information contained in the credit report, in addition to what we know about the child. The child in question is 10 years old, so they weren't just born recently, but the child support collection on his credit report and the inquiry from the law firm that specializes in judgment enforcement are more recent, from August 2023, so maybe they did have a verbal agreement like the one he keeps referring to, and he had been paying her directly. So what happened? Obviously we can't know exactly what took place, but come on. Let's not just feign ignorance like some people. Let's use our brains and call a fucking spade a spade.
Who's that?
If he was really willing to support the child like he says, why would she need to take him to court in 2023, 9 years after the kid was born? The thing is, though, his story doesn't make sense. He says that it was her involving the court that made him not want to have anything to do with the child, even though the court just mandates he do the thing he said he was willing to do in the first place, so I don't get all his resentment if he was really willing to do it. It's not like the end result is any different. The net effect is the same. But I digress. Remember, the child is 10 years old now, and according to all the leaked paperwork, she didn't get the courts involved until 2023. So if the issue was really her taking him to court, where was his involvement with the child from 2014 to 2023? That's 9 years where there was no court order, but there's no indication that he was involved in her life at all during that period. It is possible he was, and we just don't know it, but it doesn't seem like that's the case from the leaked documents, which literally itemize how much time each parent spends with the child. I also find it pretty hard to believe that if he had been helping raise them over all those years, spending time and building a relationship with them for almost a decade, that he would just cease all contact solely because she got a court order that ensures he pays child support. I may be harping on this, but he says he was willing to pay, right? So why does it matter so much that she took him to court? All that does is allow her to seize his money if he doesn't pay, so if he was paying willingly, it makes no difference. Like I said, I suspect he's either lying or he's leaving out the part of the story where he stopped paying, which was the catalyst for her to take him to court in the first place. These law firms that deal in judgment enforcements can't do anything without a judgment to enforce. They can't just walk into a bank and garnish someone's income because they're lawyers. You have to go to court first. This means it's very likely she never wanted to go to court. It was just a necessary step she had to take to make him pay, which is supported by the fact that she didn't do it in 2014 when the child was born. It didn't happen until 2023. So that's the story. I can't imagine that anyone would still believe this guy in the face of mountains of evidence. It honestly sickens me
Facts.
that he can't ever just face the truth. Dale is truly one of the most deceptive, dishonest humans I've ever seen. No hyperbole. And it's not like that's his only personality flaw. This man has said thousands of things that show what a sick, demented, twisted mind he has. But I don't think anything demonstrates that more than these cruel, heartless comments about an illegitimate child that we now know weren't hypothetical. Even prior to the credit report leak, I would hear these comments and think, what kind of sick fuck would ever think such a thing? Let alone say it out loud in public, and it gets even worse because wasn't just saying it, he's actually bragging. Like you can tell if you watch these clips, he thinks he looks so cool and so aloof that he could treat his own offspring like that. The man is literally getting high off his own farts when he acts out that stupid fantasy of his child showing up at his door and him responding with a gun, even though we all know he's a coward that would never do such a thing. If this ever happened, he would probably do what he always does and deny he is Dale Wilson, like he did when the process server showed up to serve him the papers. Absolute coward shit. Now it's one thing to actually think these serve him the papers. Absolute coward shit. Now it's one thing to actually think
Wait, what?
to serve him the papers.
Notice how it listed John Doe, but the description matches Dale perfectly, which most likely means he wouldn't identify himself. Dale, bro. Just come out, bro. Just come the fuck out, bro. Like, at this point, you're gonna have to come out every once in a while, my nigga. Like, you've lost your YouTube channel 2 fucking years ago, my nigga. You've lost your fucking YouTube channel. You might as well just come the fuck out right now, cause, bro, you're cooked, bro. You're fucking cooked.
Absolute coward shit. Now it's one thing to actually think these deplorable things. It's another thing to actually say them out loud. But when you actually know there's a living, breathing child out there, and that the child is old enough to go online and hear these things for themselves, I have to wonder what kind of person would do such a thing. But I honestly think he is so cruel and insensitive, so spiteful and immature, and he holds so much resentment for the child's mother, that he's actually hoping they hear it as a way to enact some sick revenge on her for committing the sin of taking him to court. As we have seen over the past few days, when Dale is complaining about something or criticizing someone, he's usually projecting his own insecurities outward, and you may remember how many times he mentioned weaponizing the child. Well, dare I say that is exactly what he is trying to do here. The things we criticize others for are usually the things we hate about ourselves, and I think this is very much the case with LTG.
There is a brilliant quote often attributed to Maya Angelou, and I'm going to play that quote for you here.
The other most important lesson, well, it's hard for me to number them, but let's say one of the most important lessons I ever learned from you, and I still am, I think I know the lesson, and then I'll walk into a situation and think that's that same lesson, and that is when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yes, absolutely. A person says to you, I'm selfish, or I'm mean, or I am unkind.
Or I'm crazy.
Or believe them. They know themselves much better than you do.
Mm-hmm.
When people show you who they are, believe them. Dale oftentimes engages in doublespeak. He will try to mitigate his culpability in relation to a lot of things by saying half-truths. He will lie by omission. So what did he say after all this information leaked? What was his response to all of this? This was his response.
I'm gonna say this shit one time and one time only. I am nobody's father. Best believe that shit. I got 2 cats if you want to count that, but that's cool. I'm nobody's father. I promise you that.
He specifically used the word father. And why is that relevant? That's relevant because of this clip from earlier in the video.
She chose option B, said, I'm gonna get the courts involved, so I said, fuck you. That's why you never seen me. So don't come over here crying, talking about, I never knew my pop. Like, Dad, first off, let me get something straight. Biologically, I'm your dad. Outside of that, I'm not your father. See, a father is present through love based off of a love kid, a love child. I am not your fucking father. Biologically, I did help create you. But outside of that, I want no parts. I paid for you though. You were a bill for 18 years, so I had to pay a car note for 18 years. Outside of that, have a good motherfucking life.
Dale sees himself as a biological dad because he can't ignore the science, but because he is such a steaming, insect-filled, pock-ridden piece of shit, he doesn't see himself as a father because he doesn't love, care for, or want anything to do with the child he had a role in bringing into this world. And I agree with him. He isn't a father. The child has a loving mother that, thankfully, takes great care of her. And it almost feels like the child is even more blessed for having not known Dale and not knowing anything about the other half that brought her into this world.
This nigga is a sick, demented motherfucker, bro. This nigga is a sick, demented motherfucker, bro. Outside from the grooming, the doxing, the homophobia, the racism, him laughing at suicide, him telling people to kill themselves, like all of this deplorable fuck shit that he has done. Now this nigga is a deadbeat. And now allegedly he's also a domestic abuser. You can't keep running from this forever, Dale. You can't keep running away from this, my nigga. You can't keep running away from this. My nigga, you cannot keep running the fuck away from this, man. At that point, bro, there's like 3 things that could happen to you. 3 fucking things that can happen to you. 1, your Twitch and all of your social media could be permanently banned. 2, you could go to jail. You have to pay like hella fine. You know? Or 3, and this is one of the most crucial things that the trolls really want to do, is to, you know, they could go out of their way to expose you to the whole entire internet, you know, with Castanat, with Agent, with everybody, honestly. Or possibly could get your ass beat. Who knows? Deadbeat. This nigga's a deadbeat. I don't even know how much fucking worse can this nigga get, bro. I don't even know how much fucking worse can this nigga get. I haven't paid attention to this nigga for like, what, 3-4 months? Well, mostly due to the fact that, you know, the tight beat I made on Low Tier God has very low views. But other than that, I just really don't give a fuck about Dale, bro. Like, he just could have spewed out the same fucking rhetoric for time on end. And now this nigga's a fucking deadbeat. Now this nigga's a fucking deadbeat. I don't know what's next. Like, Dale is a cupcake dweller? Not a groomer, but a pedophile now? Is that gonna be next? It's just like, this nigga is like really bad in the words of everything, bro. This is the reason why when black men, you know, particularly is done some terrible fucking shit or just rage quit games, all this other shit, they've been calling themselves the LTG. Perfection is the worst version of LTG. Red Ranger is legitimately the same as LTG. Who else? Another nigga is an LTG 2.0. I'm not gonna say his name, but it's just crazy as fuck, man. I mean, shit is just crazy, bro. Like, Dale, you can't fucking run from this shit. My nigga, you can't fucking run from this shit, bro. There's gonna be points in your fucking life where something will catch up to you. Like, it will catch up to you to the point where you have to fucking, where you have to fucking speak about this. Or where you have to, like, legitimately just be done with everything. Done with your streaming, done with everything. It will catch up to you. It will fuck you up, bro. It will fuck you up. So, see, this is what happens when your online presence is just being a fucking dick. Your online presence is just being a fucking dick. Don't take accountability for your actions, telling people to kill themselves. And the fact that Twitch out here just promoting you too. It's like, I don't even know, bro. Because, bro, LTG, you've got a weird case. Why are you around? Like, dead ass, bro. It's like dead ass. I don't know, man. I feel as though that the commentary community just needs to, like, get at this nigga's neck, bro. Like with Bridge, with Sense of Society, with Achita, with More Pegasus, with probably Moist Critical. With Moist Critical. I bet Moist Critical will grill this nigga, bro. I bet Moist Critical will grill this nigga. Like, someone needs to get Moist Critical on the line and have this nigga, like, talk about him. Because, I mean, Moist Critical has been grilling hella people. I mean, I don't know if the same effect's going to happen to Lord Tier God, but it's like, hell, he's the best chance we got. This nigga needs to be gone, bro. Like, that has a deadbeat, my nigga, for 10 fucking years? That's insane, bro. That shit's dead ass insane. Like, not even gonna cap, bro. Not even gonna cap.